This is 3 skills of a coach in all sports. My first skill is communication. There are 2 ways of communicating with someone. One way would be verbally and the other one being non-verbally. When being a coach, you need to communicate when giving someone some information to help them with their performance. You would normally do it verbally, whether this is during the game or one-to-one with them after the game or before. Depending on how the player can take on the information, your ways of doing this has to differ. For example, if you are going to a cricket training session and one of your players isn't able to catch the ball very well consistently, if they are a player that is low on confidence, you then don't want to knock their confidence even more by talking to them about it in a rude way, so you would have to come across in a kind way and that you are wanting to help them improve and not just criticize them. Whereas if someone that doesn't take effect by being criticized, then you can do it in a respectful manner but still criticize them in a harsh way to let them know that they've made mistakes. When talking to your players, you need to be loud and clear so they are able to hear you and understand what you are asking them to do. For example, if you are trying to give one of your rugby players a message during the game, you need to be loud enough so that they can hear you when there is lots of other things in the game making noise. This also has impact from the nature of the sport and the surroundings, as all sports have a different noise level, so it's how you tell people the information would have to vary. For example, in a basketball match, it's in a hall, so there will be a lot of echoing when you're shouting, so people might not be able to understand what you're saying, whereas in a cricket match, it's out in the open and you can shout across to someone, but they might be further away than they would be in a hall, so it'd have to be louder. Non-verbal communication can be done in many ways. The main way would be with movements. For example, this would be demonstrating how to take a rugby conversion to the player that is trying to take one. Another way to communicate with someone non-verbally is with gestures. For example, if a player has just scored a goal in football, and then as the coach you put your thumbs up at them, this then shows that you are happy with them. You can also do it facially, so instead of putting your thumbs up at the player, you smile at them instead to let them know how you feel. My second skill is organisation. There are many things as a coach that you need to organise, which will vary from training sessions to match days. For example, at your training you would need to organise what you are going to do at your training session and what equipment you need to do the drill. For example, if you're going to have a football session where you're doing shooting practice, you will need goals to shoot into. You will also need a keeper to shoot against. This then comes under personnel. You need to know for your fixtures and training session who is available so you can do the drills you want to do with the right personnel, and so you know you have enough players to do the training session or to do a fixture so you don't have to forfeit the game. Some away fixtures can be very hard to get to as they are far away, and depending on your players they might not be able to drive, so can't all get there. An easy way to solve this would be to get a coach. For example, if Brighton women's team have a game in Manchester, the players can all get a coach up to the game together. As a coach, you need to organise where the pick-up points would be as well, and what times to be there so you have enough time to get to the game, and factor in that there could be traffic or delays. You will also need to organise financially how to pay for the coach, whether the club will pay for it or if the players all have to pay for it. One of the most important parts of being a coach is the responsibility of your players' health and safety. If something was to happen that could harm your players, you need to be able to react in a way to help them out and make sure that they are okay. You need to know all players' emergency contact numbers and being able to contact someone that can help, like a first aider or if needed a hospital. You need to have all this organised before games or training sessions start. You also, for every game In training, you need to do a risk assessment before there aren't any problems that can happen that could be prevented. Also, when having to organise a home fixture, you might have to organise the venue for the game, as you might not have a home pitch or the home pitch is already being used by another team. You would also need to book matchday officials and organise when the game is and who will pay for the matchday officials. My final skill is analysing. Analysing is key to the success in players' performance in sports. Analysing improves players' performances as they are able to look back at the feedback and see where their weakest parts are and how they can improve on it. For example, if a netball player looks back at their data and sees that there was only 3 out of 9 shots in the game, they can then see that they need to improve on their shooting. There are many different ways of analysing as shown on the screen here. One way is to record the data live. This can be a bad way to record data as you only get one chance to see something and you might miss it, so then your data can be wrong. A better way would be to film the game and then go back over the footage, as you can re-watch anything that you want to, so your data can be more accurate. Analysing is all about helping players look back and improve on their game, so the more accurate the data is, the more it can help the players improve. An example of analysing someone's performance would be seeing how many successful passes a central midfield player can make in a game compared to how many were incomplete. They can then see if they need to improve their passing, as it is a key part to a central midfielder in football.